folks. Well, the day took a very strange turn this morning. I received an email a few weeks ago which was an invitation to come out and metal detect an old stone foundation somewhere out on this piece of land. We set the day for today, and all day yesterday and all last night, thunder and lightning storms. Decided to risk it today. I think it's supposed to clear up later this afternoon, but we are just socked in with fog right now. It's probably not translating through the camera lens, but I cannot see very far through these trees right now. I get to the landowner's home this morning to talk about this place and get some directions, and they mentioned a few things they left out of the original email. They called this place the Witch House. They don't have really any concrete history to back that up. That's just what they grew up calling it. So I don't know, we'll see what that means for us today. They mentioned that there's been some Bigfoot sightings out here in the past. And you know, I joke about Bigfoot a lot in my videos. I know that there's many true believers who watch my videos, and these people would fall in that category. They said they've seen him out here. And then they mentioned one more thing which I have never heard of before. I'm not even sure if I'm saying it correctly. I don't have cell service right now to research it, but they call it Willow the Wisp, or Will of the Wisp. And apparently it's lights. They see lights out here sometimes. So, hopefully the sun comes out soon, and we don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Apparently the home is from the 1800s, beginning, end, I'm not sure. We're going to use our metal detector, and maybe we can figure that out today. I don't know, we'll see what we find today. Alright, well, we made it. No ghosts or goblins on the way. You can see there's stone walls everywhere around here, and the cellar is right on the other side of that stone wall. It's pretty well open, although I see that stinging nettle everywhere. It'll be worth it, I'm sure. So we're gonna do some loops around the cellar, wander around in some of these old pastures, see what we can discover about this place. Well, it's sprinkling a little bit right now, but it's hard to tell if it's coming out of the sky or if it's just coming off the trees because the wind's blowing. But we just got our first artifact here. A spoon. Oh yeah, look. Got some hallmarks on there. That never happens. This would have been plated brass, it looks like. You can see that the plating is chipping off. We'll figure it out. Figure out when this thing was made. We almost never see hallmarks on brass cutlery. Usually pewter, obviously silver, but awesome. We'll figure this one out, and I'll shed some light on the history of this place. See what else we can find here. Alright, well, we just got a little piece of what I believe is lead, and when I saw it, I thought it was just kind of be some scrap lead, a splatter or something. You know, they melted lead for lots of different things, and occasionally some fell on the ground and you find clumps of it. But I flipped it over. What do you think? Is that a flower? Oh wow, it looks like it's actually silver plated too. It's still soft. It's definitely lead. Let me hit it with my toothbrush and water and see what it looks like. Alright, what do you think of that? So it's clearly silver plated, there's a lot of it left. The back is pretty rough. Maybe this was a piece of furniture or upholstery, I suppose. Is it like an upholstery button? You know, again, we're pretty unsure about when this place was here. They don't ever remember there being a building here, so best guess is late 1800s, but this would fall in line with that. Really pretty. Stick around this area, see what else we can find here. Alright, well, I just found a little buckle, like one I've never found before. Again, it's just like a pressed sheet brass. It all still operates. A lot of the buckles we find are horse tack. I'm gonna say with confidence this was worn on a person's clothing, and just because of how, you know, delicate it is, I'm gonna say it's probably on a lady's dress. A little strap going through here, probably a cloth strap, you know. Beautiful. Alright, that's a good find. Let's see what else we can find. Alright, well, this is a first for me, but this is what appears to be a thermometer. it was bent, and I thought it was just scrap brass, so I just opened it up, and I noticed there's numbers and writing all over it. You can see we have a scale here. It's an odd one though, 048. It might not actually be a thermometer. Let me clean up here where the text is and see what it says. So the scale goes from 0 to 24. It might go a little further. And at the top, warranted with an eagle, and it says balance. So I'm wondering if this is actually more of like a level. Warranted balance. I guess it could be a thermometer, but the scale doesn't make any sense. It doesn't really make any sense for being a level either, but warranted balance. I don't know, it's pretty cool. It's got an eagle on it. Man, if this had broken off and this is all I would have found, I would have been very confused. Wow, it's got an eagle on it. Warranted balance. I don't know. I'm going to guess it's a level. Let me know what you think. Good save. Well, the sunshine is starting to peek through the clouds. The fog is lifted, and it is infinitely less creepy out here now. You can actually see around me. And since we got so much rain the last couple days, I've shown these little guys numerous times in the past. But these little red efts, they're newts. I think they're eastern newts. They're absolutely everywhere. There's 3 of them right here. Check this out. There's a guy here, and here. There's a 3rd one right here. He's just running away. And they're just absolutely everywhere. You know, every 20 feet I'm looking down and seeing one. It's really cool. We've been very dry this year, so all of the rain that we've been getting, all this stuff is starting to shoot up. Mushrooms, probably just since yesterday, we've got a whole bunch of new mushrooms out here right now. Alright, let's do some more metal detector. Check this out. I love it when this happens. I just got a very, very loud target, and assuming it was on the surface, I used my pinpointer, and just under the leaves, look at this. It wasn't even underground. Just sitting there on the surface. And considering it's in very, very good condition. Look at that. I won't try to move any of this, but it still has all its teeth. Still has the little ring. Maybe I will try to move it. No, I won't. I always break it whenever I try to move these things. Suspender, right? Maybe we're in like a dumpy area here. Maybe there's going to be a lot of stuff close to the surface. Very cool. Would have been shiny brass back in the time it was used. Really, really cool. Stamped brass. Late 1800s, maybe even early 1900s. Cool. Let's keep going. Alright, well, I just got something kind of exciting here. It's a tag of some kind. Stamped, plated tag. And it has writing all over it, and I'm pretty sure right at the bottom it said Holyoke, Mass. So my hope is it's going to have a date, maybe even a name. See this? Holyoke. Alright, well, there's a T right here. I'm having a hard time making out what these 3 letters are, which I assume is the company name for whatever this was. This was a product label, I'm pretty sure. Because here you can see there's a whole bunch of patent dates, and they're all 1890. There's an 1891. And then it says, you know, patents for Irving, maybe? Steel Co., Holyoke, Mass. Hard to say, you know, I'll do some research and let you know what I can find out, but it doesn't get much better than that. It's got a date on it. So they were here late 1800s, probably into the early 1900s. That's beautiful. So this was fairly shallow, just like that suspender. So I'm on a little bit of a hill here. I'm wondering if this is a little bit of a dump coming down from the home here. So let's stick around here, see what else we can find. Alright, well, I just got a high tone like a coin, and again, it wasn't very deep. Basically everything in this little area right here is very, very shallow. It's not a coin. I don't know if you can make that out. There's I don't know, it's very intricate, whatever it is. I'm wondering if it's part of a clock. Let's get it out of here. Oh no, look at that. That's awesome. It's not complete. Champion 6 lever. That's the back of a padlock. All brass padlock. Well, hey, of all the pieces of a padlock to find, that's the coolest, right? So this is the back, right? There's no keyhole here, so this is the back plate. I'll look around here, see if we can find more of it, but that is awesome. Anything with text on it like that, big, bold letters, I find really, really fascinating. That's going to display very nicely. We'll see if we can get a date on it. They made these a long time. This is a popular brand back then, so we'll see. Very, very cool. Alright, we just got a button. The tone was not great, but it is a 2-piece iron back button with an eagle on there. Looks like it's probably just a general service. Beautiful old military button. Since it is iron back, unfortunately not going to be able to get a definitive date off of it because we would usually use the back mark, the words. Probably quite a bit post Civil War general service military button. Judging by all the other things that we found here so far today, I have to say that we're well beyond the Civil War here, but let's keep going. See if maybe we can find more stuff like this. Just heard a big limb fall off in the distance. I'm sure it was from the wind and not a Sasquatch, right? So I've been sitting on this stone wall drinking some water, taking a break, and I'm thinking about this witch story. Who knows how these family stories get started? You can imagine a grandfather telling a grandchild a spooky story about a basement out in the woods. And kid grows up never learning otherwise, and becomes family history. But judging by the things that we found today, that certainly seems like there was at least one or several men living here. And I guess it's not out of the question that a woman could be accused of being a witch while living with men, but usually you hear about it, you know, like being a widow or a hermit living by herself. That reminded me of a story. There's actually one documented witch trial in Vermont. It happened in the southwest corner. And it wasn't publicized. I guess there was a lot of shame left over from what happened in Salem. But if you look hard enough, you can find information on it. I guess there was a woman who was accused of being a witch. She had magical powers, and they threw her in the local river, and she sank like a rock, which apparently means you're not a witch. And I guess she lived out her life there. Incredible. We're a long ways from southwestern Vermont right now, so I don't think that has anything to do with this place. Haven't found anything witchy yet. I'm going to finish my water and see what else we can find here. Alright, well, here's something I haven't found in a while. Man, those cicadas up in the trees are going nuts. This is what's commonly called a toe tap by people who metal detect. But we find these a lot. This is just a little piece of brass that would have been hammered to the toe of a shoe. That's all it is. A little piece of brass, a couple holes, hammered on with nails. Pretty cool. There's probably another one out here somewhere. Alright, we got a pretty nice target here. Dug it up, and I'm pretty sure it's a coin. It's a little one, penny-sized. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. Oh yeah, it's an Indian. Little Indian head cent. Alright, well, I shining a light on it sideways, and I do carry a jeweler's loop, which I was able to look through and see the date. It's in 1883. I'll give you a close-up, see if you can see it here. Here it is, 1883. Now, I usually just ignore the comments, but people are always asking me why I don't spray my copper coins with water. And I did on this one. This back didn't come out very clean. But you can see how the front is all kind of pitted now. The water washes some of the patina away, and then you're left with kind of a pitted surface. So it doesn't happen every time, but most of the time you get this sandpapery surface. Well, that's cool. 1883 Indian head penny. That gives us a pretty good idea of when people were here. And see if maybe we can find more of these. Maybe the silver kind. Well, we just got a button here, and I don't know what it is. It doesn't appear to be military. I just peeked, and I noticed that there was a really big back mark, which is very legible. What does it say? Not sure. We're going to have to wait to get home. I suspect it's the manufacturer. But check out this side. I haven't cleaned it off yet. Is that a deer? I don't know, let's brush it off. Yeah, it's something. It's just like a sportsman's button, a livery button. I think that this down here is like a baby, whatever this is. Interesting. Not what I was expecting. It's really, really cool. Pretty interesting. Maybe that back mark will be able to tell us more information about it. Really cool button, though. I've never seen one quite like that before. I've found some in the past with like deer and hunting dogs and stuff like that for like hunting jackets, but nothing quite like that. That's beautiful. All right, well, the sun is shining now. Things are starting to dry out, and we made it through the day without seeing any mysterious lights in the woods, or Bigfoot, or witches, so I'd say we did pretty good. The things we found today are very typical for a turn-of-the-century home up here in the mountains of Vermont. And I don't think I showed the metal detector in the video today. I didn't do any live digs, but I did get a new one since my last one died, and it's a couple steps up from the last one, which is pretty exciting. I'm still learning it, but considering, I think we did pretty good today. Let's see everything I found. Alright, so starting from the back, let's see, we have 1.5 harmonicas here, a hurricane lamp, a kerosene lamp. I find a lot of shotgun shells, but this is my first, believe it or not, full brass shell. Never found one like that, and they squeezed it when they were done with it for whatever reason. We have our machine plate, we're going to figure that out. Our padlock cover, it has the text on it, awesome. Spoon with hallmark, and it says number 2 on there, which I didn't notice before. Are probably level, but again, I'm going to have to find that out later. Toe tap, variety of buckles and suspenders. This is another suspender that I found. Our little lead flower decoration. General service, probably button. Our goat, probably button. And then our Indian head scent. A day full of really interesting things that I've never found before. Lots of things with dates, which is excellent. Alright, I'm going to start hiking out of here, drive to the landowner's home, show them everything I found today. And we didn't necessarily find anything that screams witch, but who knows what happened here. I'm sure it was a close-knit community. Stories of what happened probably didn't make it out. Who knows, really. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you next Friday for another new video.